Hello and welcome to episode 1 of our open conversation series. So each week we're going to be doing a Facebook Live, just speaking about loads of different topics, either personal to us or just topics in general to do with relationships and love, and there might be some stuff about sex and just all everything. Yes, there will be. Today's open conversation is going to be about the reasons why neither of us wanted a relationship. A lot of people said to us that, well, we should be in a relationship, and why are you not in a relationship yet? Well, we're going to have a conversation about that now. I think, for me, personally, I got to a point where when you go through something really shit and you start working on yourself, I think I got to a point where, this is going to sound really bad as well.
Oh no.
But I feel like I got to a point where I didn't want to allow anyone into my sort of little bubble, because I'd done the work on myself, and that's the thing when you go through something and you've got some insecurities that you need to work on, and once you have, if you're not careful, you can start to feel like you're better than people.
So you almost feel inferior.
Yeah.
No, superior.
Yeah, you do.
Everyone else is like, oh.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I started to feel. I thought, then again, this is going to sound bad. No one around Sudbury's good enough to come into my little bubble, and that's exactly how I felt. But the more time I actually spent with you, I can remember, our little Sundays when we used to go to the cinema, and we haven't been to the cinema for a while. But when we go to the cinema, and we used to come back, and you'd have a little nap on the sofa.
Let's do that now.
I know. And I used to look at you, and every Sunday that went by,
Fucking hell, why ain't she left yet?
I can't get rid of her. But I just realised more and more how much I do care about you. Whereas at the beginning, I didn't want to care about you. That's why it was just sex.
Yeah.
I had like a little bubble, and I didn't want you to pierce it, and I didn't want any of my feelings or emotions to come out either. But then once you start spending time with someone that you actually begin to like, it's quite scary. I think I was worried that when you've gone through some shit, you're worried almost that you might go back to that point. And also, because you do feel so much better, you feel like you're better than the majority of people around, which again isn't great. And for a lot of people telling us, oh, why are you not in a relationship yet? And
Oh, you basically are.
I know. It was just, I personally didn't feel ready, and I know I had a lot of shit that I needed to sort out before we got in a relationship. And I'm quite fortunate enough to have, well, probably one very close friend, Jen. And I spoke to her. One of the conversations I had with her was in regards to my fears about getting into a relationship. And I don't know whether you want me to share this, but it was when I said to you, can you remember when we sat in Wetherspoons? We were sat there, I think we'd been out, I can't remember where we went. We went somewhere, and then we just went into Wetherspoons for a pint. I can't remember where we'd been. But anyway, so we spoke about being in a relationship and whatever, and I said that I'd spoke to Jen about something. And I said to you, one of my biggest fears, and I'm going to go into more detail about this after, because the normalities of relationships and society and stuff and culture, this won't sound how it's meant to come across. But one of my biggest fears is the thought of sleeping with the same person for the rest of my life. And when we had that conversation, I told you that in Witherspoons, and to see your reaction, and you were like, yeah, I can understand that. I was like, what? Fucking hell.
I do get it though, it's such a massive commitment, and there's committing just to one person. I'm not saying that you're going to commit to thousands of people, but one person can't give you absolutely everything, despite what social media says and what your friends are telling you. Oh, if he loved you, he'd do everything and give you everything. Yeah, so do I, because no, not a single person can give you everything in life.
And it's unfair to put them expectations on someone.
Yeah.
After that conversation that we had, and I said that, and just seeing your reaction and knowing that you actually meant it, straight away I was like, fuck. And then I spoke to Jen, I was like, this is how the conversation went. And she was like, so all these things that, remember I said to you, like, I'd like my own space and I don't want to, I need to, have my own time. But the more I had my own time, the more it made me realise I want to spend time with you. And then after that conversation, I spoke to Jen, and she said again, well, this, the past 8 or 9 months that we sort of met each other and spent some time together, she said to me, well, Charis has literally given you everything you've asked for right up to now, and you've had a conversation about one of your biggest fears, and she's still there. And it literally, like, slapped me in the face. I was like, I can't not be in a relationship with this girl. I just knew straight away that I was like, why have I been so scared to, like, open my heart again? I in some regards, I sort of thought that maybe I wasn't capable of loving someone again. And I was scared that, and I don't mean this, like, egotistical, but I was scared that you would start to have feelings for me and I wouldn't be able to allow myself to have feelings for you. But then when I realised that I did, I knew that we needed to be in a, well, not needed, but actually, yeah, needed to be in a relationship. Because of the things that we are and everything we're creating, and the vision that we have for our lives is so similar. And I just realised that actually we're connected on a far deeper level than I ever imagined we would be. And there's no way that I could have walked away from that. But it took me
10 months.
It took me 10 months to, well, probably.
But no, about 9 months.
I suppose I sort of realised it a little bit earlier, but I was almost in denial.
Now I can't get rid of you.
I know. Well, why didn't you want to be with me then?
Well, it's you, per se. I think for anyone that read what I wrote, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah, a couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago. That was a massive contributing factor, because just before I'd met Dan, I wasn't really an acknowledgement that I had an issue or a problem with what had happened. I was in denial for a very long time, and I just thought, oh, it's no big deal, it's cool, these things, they happen all the time, like, it's just it's a teenager thing. It's obviously not a teenager thing.
Yeah, it's weird how you sort of talk it down though when it's happened to you.
Yeah.
I know.
That's so funny. You're like, oh.
I know, I'm crying inside.
So, at the time I don't really know how to describe. I got into a relationship a few months before I met you, and it was for all the wrong reasons.
It's similar to like what I was doing when I was in shit place, constantly going out and drinking and doing drugs and stuff to make myself feel better. Sometimes when you feel shit, you can jump into another relationship hoping that the relationship will make you feel better.
But it's so short-lived. It's such a temporary fix.
Yeah.
And it lasted 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor network. It's still recording.
Oh. And yeah, then I ended up hurting someone quite badly that I really cared about, but you
just weren't in the right place, were you?
Yeah, and it was I was in love with the idea of someone just loving me because everyone else had been laughing about me for the last 9 months, 10 months, year, whatever. And it just soon went out.
Yeah.
So then meeting you and obviously going to counselling and things like that, I knew I wasn't ready to put myself in the position to be with someone or taking the responsibility of someone else's feelings. That would be selfish.
Do you know what I loved so much about when we met? We were both, I suppose, coming out of like the final stages of the shit that we needed to get through us, like individually. But neither of us, when we met, we didn't want to suffocate each other and force each other to be better. We were still on our own individual journeys to improve. And that's what I loved so much, that we still allowed each other the time and space to do that. Because without that, it almost creates too much of a dependency.
Yeah.
And then, say that relationship broke down again, you're back to square one because you've not actually done the work that you needed to do. The relationship gave you the, like you said, the short fix of not feeling good. And
the instant gratification.
Yeah, it is. And I never, ever wanted to feel how I felt ever again. And part of me, after a while, after I'd done most of the work I needed to do on myself, it made me realise that every relationship in our lives... Sorry, I just went on low battery. Every relationship in our lives help us so much to uncover all these little insecurities and little things that we have about ourselves that sometimes we don't even know we have until they're brought to the surface from a certain relationship or experience. Once you've done the work and got through that part that you needed to do, that's when you're in a position to start attracting a new relationship. But before then, if you don't do the work that's required, you will end up either hurting someone, getting hurt again yourself, or creating a relationship and, heaven forbid, having a child, bringing another life into the world, and not having strong foundations of a relationship. And we spoke about what we want from a relationship, what we want with our lives, and the things that I've spoke to you about now. I've never had as much transparency in a relationship as what I do now. Even to the point I'm saying to you that I'm scared to just sleep with you for the rest of my life. But you didn't take it personally. And that's what I love so much about you, that you can see things a lot clearer rather than instantly thinking, fucking hell, it's a personal attack. Because in reality, nothing's ever a personal attack.
I was about to say that literally every single thing you could probably think of in life is nothing personal towards you. It is exactly about the individual.
Yeah.
The other individual.
They're just projecting their own fears onto you.
Even if someone directly insults you or directly makes something your fault or just makes it very direct verbally or physically, it's fundamentally still nothing to do with you.
No.
It's not.
Nothing is ever personal, and sometimes it can be so hard. One of the podcasts I listened to recently was the illustration given was, say for instance, someone come and shot your cat. That still would not be personal. They might have had something go on in their day that pushed them to do something. Even if that person doesn't like you, knows you and doesn't like you, that still is nothing personal to you for them killing your cat. And when you can start to think like that, it allows you to grow and get to different stages of your personal experience that you probably never would have got to. You have to try and look at things objectively rather than subjectively, and start thinking about the things that you want from life without taking things too personally, because otherwise you're just going to be a victim all your life, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I think now what we're creating and where we're heading and our little vision for next year, which we will be blogging about, I've never felt so excited for a future with someone as what I do now. And maybe before, I'm not saying my past two relationships I didn't love them, because I did, but this love now is just completely different. Like I always say to you, I've never experienced this sort of love before because it's so open and honest. And I know that even at my lowest or my biggest fears, nothing I do or am will scare you away. And that's what I love, being able to communicate openly and honestly with you. Because if you haven't got that, I personally don't think you haven't really got a relationship, have you?
No, I agree.
And a lot of people that I listen to in podcasts and stuff like that, they talk about treating your lover as you would your best friend. Now, if you can have conversations with your best friend about, for instance, me saying to you, oh, my fear is like sleeping with one person for the rest of my life, or, you know, just all the things that you might speak about to a best friend that you're scared to speak to a lover or partner or whatever about, but yet you hear people say, oh, I'm with my best friend, but yet they'll still not talk about the things that they would talk about to their best friend. And I never ever want to feel like I'm hiding anything from you. I want to be able to be who I am. And I've got that, and I didn't think I would ever get to this point to have it. Anyway, we're gonna stop our little rambling.
I think there's so much to say, but to speak about it in a live, it's just people get bored. They're like, bye.
I know. So we're gonna try and keep these under 15 minutes because I know it can be quite hard to sit there and stare at your phone for any longer. But next week we will be doing a live on a completely different topic. I thought about making it a specific day each week, but again, we want to be as real as possible. And you know, when just some days you just don't want to talk about something, or you've just got stuff going on, so it will be weekly, but we're not sure on the day, but we'll let you know on the day what time it's going to be. Anyway, we're in Nottingham because, as you can...
we're not.
Well, near enough.
No, we're not.
Where are we?
That's like, near like Stoke-on-Trent, kind of.
So we went through?
We've gone past Nottingham, I think. I don't know, I'm not very good at geography.
And the Cheadle, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know, we're somewhere in the countryside.
We don't know where we are, we don't know how we got here, but Charis is at Download Festival today, and I'm going to have a little wander about. Although the weather is shit, the scenery is so nice here.
Yeah, it is nice.
But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave any comments, and give it a little like and a share. We'll be back next week, but I hope you have an awesome weekend. See you later.
Bye.